Alright guys, so today we're going to talk about how to hold down a t-shirt to the pallet when you're going to get ready to start printing. Alright guys, so let's get started. So we're going to talk about three types of adhesives that we use today. So the first step, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to use pallet tape. So what pallet tape is, it has one sticky side and then one flat side, no adhesive. So the first thing you want to do is lay it across your pallet. That way your pallets stay nice and clean and look pretty. Alright, so after you applied your pallet tape, now it's time to choose what kind of adhesive you're going to use to hold down your t-shirt. So there are two options. Actually there are three, but we'll get to the third one later. One is an aerosol. So this is where you're going to spray your pallet down, and then you're going to go ahead and print. This method we don't really use unless we're doing sweaters or something that has a lot of fibers that's going to cause the garment to shift or not really hold itself down. And that's where we would use this. Other than that, we kind of stay away from aerosols because it gets in the air and you don't want to bring that in and it makes everything dirty. The next one we recommend, and if we weren't using an aerosol, would be a water-based pallet adhesive. So with the water-based pallet adhesive, it's pretty straightforward and simple. You don't want to go too crazy on it because it is really sticky, especially when you start using a flash. It'll activate it and make it even grab the shirt down a lot more. So what you want to do is you get your pallet adhesive and you just roll it across as so. Then you would get an ink card and you go ahead and spread it evenly across your pallet. So you do that across your whole print area. And then you're done. And you can go ahead and get started on printing on shirts. This method is pretty popular. We do use this method a lot. There's no aerosols and the tack lasts for a while. And as a little tip, you can use a scrub and some water. So you want to spray the pallet down, get a little scrub and scrub it down, and that will reactivate the water-based adhesive and also clean your pallet. All right, so let's just take this. Alright guys, so the third option is using a double-sided. Alright guys, so we talked about aerosol adhesives, water-based adhesives. Now we're going to talk about dual tack pallet tape. So what dual tack pallet tape is, it is a double-sided tape pretty much that lays down on your pallet that has a layer that we're going to peel off. So what you're going to need to use, what we recommend using is a freshie, razor blade, and a squeegee to kind of pull the air bubbles off. So let's get started on that. Alright, so the first thing you're going to want to do is make sure your pallet is clean. And then we're going to get the first side, we're going to find a little area. We're going to pretty much draw a little line, or start it off there. Then we're going to get our squeegee, and I'm going to roll this pallet tape back. Sometimes you got to kind of play with it to get a good line. And then you're just going to want to roll it back. And the next thing you're going to want to do is get a razor blade and cut your edges out. Alright, so after you cut off the excess, you have two options, right? So you can use a squeegee. You can generally find these when you purchase the pallet tape, and we'll put a link in the description. Or if you don't have that, you can use that same roll. And you just lay it down. And with good amount of effort and force, that way you can push all the air bubbles out, and you're going to want to do that across the whole thing. Our method of using the little squeegee works best for us, and that's what we found. Gets a lot of the air bubbles out, especially when you have a clean pallet. And we'll go ahead and do that. Get all the air bubbles out. And so here's some quick tips. So the great thing about the pallet, the dual tack pallet tape is that if you do a lot of left chest prints, you don't need to do the whole pallet, right? You can just do a little section, and that section is going to have all the adhesive that you need. The next tip is going to be to use a razor blade, and you don't want to have the pallet, the dual tack pallet adhesive hang off the edges or even be close, because that's going to cause it to roll up just like the other pallet tape. So what I like to do is I like to just cut the edge, round it out, and then I'll go ahead and just pull all that off and kind of round it out. That way the shirt doesn't get snagged and it doesn't roll up the pallet tape. All right, so after you squeegeed your corner, squeegeed all your air bubbles out, or most of them, and then rounded your corners, you're just gonna wanna go ahead and find an edge and peel it off. And that's it, you're done. All right, so one last final tip is if you have like any really big bubbles, I just kind of take a little razor blade and I just pop it, and I'll leave it alone because taking that little air bubble out by popping it, once you load the shirt and print it, it'll be fine. The next thing we'll do quickly, I'll just load a shirt on here. You can see it gets pretty tacky, but after you print a little bit, just to kind of show it. So the best part about this dual tack pallet adhesive is that once you've done a bunch of shirts and say like 500 or 200 and the tack is, you know, it's not as much as you would want it to be. Let me show you, give me an example. I'll load this shirt on real quick. Wipe it down. It's coming off real easy. So all you need is a scrub pad, some water, or a sponge, and you spray your pallet down. You don't have to go too crazy, too ham on it, and then you're just going to apply it across. All right, so after you scrubbed it down, depending on what you did before, let's say if you're running sweaters or t-shirts, the pallet will either clean up a lot nicer, but in either case, the tack will come back. Not 100% back, but it definitely reactivates and gets tacky again. So just to kind of show you the tack level we get again. It's definitely not as brand new tack, but it is there again. You can see it still evenly, there's tack evenly there. All right guys, well thanks for watching our video, and all right guys, thanks for watching our video today about pallet adhesives. Don't forget to like and subscribe. That's what motivates us to continue to do these videos and help you guys out with any questions and comments you might have. Feel free to leave any suggestions for videos. That way we can make these in the future for you and help you out in your whole screen printing adventure. All right, take care guys. Talk to you soon.